Let's move to the threat experience on February 2-3. You know, it seems like a long time ago, given all the events that have occurred. Part of what made our response to that threat go so well was a lot of preparation for emergency responses that occurred prior to that event. I need to tell you that our public safety team is always, it's much like AQIP. You know, they are constantly working on our emergency response protocols on a regular basis. They brief the President's Council, Mike Bath, Cindy Pavla, for example, on updating our response. And most important of all, public safety practices. They practice internally with the police forces. They also conduct practices with Marquette City Police. They practice with the State Patrol. You know, they have taken my admonition to have a plan and never need it than to need one and not have one to really an incredible level of competency. And so that practice really came into play on February 2 when we received the threat that morning at approximately 7 o'clock, 7:15. The President's Council is always involved in contributing to the updating and review of those emergency plans. And I wanted to take a moment because in a fit of personality, because as many of you know, I'm not very good at ordering people to do things. It's just not my way of doing it. We are asking people to conduct safety review processes at the department level, and we're going to expect department heads to conduct those. One of the things that we learned from our experience February 2 and 3 is the unevenness of emergency response preparation. For example, if the department head is gone, does everybody know who's the next person in command? If those two are gone, who's the third one? We were very fortunate enough to have a threat occur at 7 o'clock in the morning when everyone was coming to work. They were on their way already. And we do have flex time in a lot of departments, and so people, leadership, employees are showing up at different times. I think we have to be very, very clear about who's present and who's in charge in the face of a potential threat. I think the other pieces that we have to put in place, and this is my courage of actually ordering something, and I practiced it at President's Council this morning, and I think it came out okay. But we're going to require every phone that receives a subsidy or a cell phone stipend, an NMU phone, to be on the NMU text emergency system. And so we're going to be getting word out to department heads, and they're going to see the phone numbers of the phones that are in their departments and whether or not they're registered in the emergency text system or not. And we're going to require that those employees that have NMU subsidized phones immediately register them on the text system. Okay, and that will occur and will occur soon. We need to have you work out a number of exit strategies, and you need a plan A and you need a plan B. And if you work in a really large facility, like the Dome or something like that, perhaps you need a plan C. You never know where the bad guys are going to show up. You never know where an earthquake is going to close a building. And so we need to really establish some exit strategies. And I think you need to meet as departments so that everybody knows what those exit strategies are. Now, the best part is that if you need help, Mike Bath is your man. And he has already met with a number of departments. He's worked with my office on developing the strategy for the president's office, worked with the provost office, et cetera. So if you're a department head and you want some assistance in putting this plan together, give Mike a call and he'll set up that appointment to work with you. A couple main points that I want to share with you. Because the gun threat was over the internet and obviously across state lines, the FBI is immediately participating in that. And interestingly enough, they are immediately in control. And so when the FBI agents showed up on campus soon after 7:30, it is just standard protocol that they take over the activities, the assignments, the strategy, what's going to happen next, what do we need to know, what do we not know, things filter through them. And so the FBI controls the flow of information and the activity of all participating law enforcement personnel. That includes our teams, State Patrol, Marquette Police, everything is channeling through the FBI. They lead, but clearly my experience that Wednesday is that everyone present acts as a team. And it was really kind of refreshing because there were a number of times where they came to me and said, we need to know X, Y, and Z. We found that. I said to them, well, are we going to do X? And they said, well, no, that's my job. And then I said to them, well, I need your opinion on whether I want to open tomorrow. And she looked at me with a bit of a grin and said, well, I'm sorry, but that's your job. I'll have to tell you, there are moments of levity when this is about like hour 13, where you have been monitoring everything in almost minute by minute and 15 by 15 minute blocks. From the moment Mike Bath called me at 7 till we went home that night, most of us about 10, 11 o'clock in the evening. So things change. Now, I know that a lot of people, the most significant concern I heard across campus was everybody wanted to know more. And as you can see, that's what you work out with the FBI team that's present. How much can you tell? How much can you not? I think the most telling thing for me, obviously, because I did want to get more information out, is when they turn to you, you know, the FBI and the ATF and all the teams that were there, and they just look you dead in the eye and say, the bad guy, the shooter, could be one of your students. And they're receiving every text message, every screen capture, every email, every Facebook, everything that we're promoting internally is in the hands of the bad person. And so it makes you think differently about what you want to say to keep people informed and yet contribute effectively to suppressing the threat that was there. And there is dynamic tension there. Mike's charge now is to debrief with the FBI, which he's done, the city police, the state patrol, everybody that's participated, all the external agencies. He has done that, and he is continuing to hold debriefing sessions internally as well.